And let me make sure that I record. Hi, everyone. We're so excited that you're joining us today. Before we dive in, I think that we'd like to get a better sense of who's joining us today. Let me first also take a moment to introduce myself for those of you that don't know me. My name is Allison Comport. I've been with EEC about 2 years. I, as well as my colleague who's joining today, Binal, have worked in the classroom. We've been educators, we've been directors, and we're very happy to be here with you tonight. So if you guys want to put in the chat who's joining us, so let me see what is your role and where are you in the state? Let's see. You guys just want to put it into the chat. Okay, family child care in Mendon, great. Lawrence, PDC, family child care in Agawam, awesome. Who else? Let's see. Oh, now they're all coming. Let's see, director in Dartmouth. Let me see, a coach and adjunct, team member. Let's see. We've got a really diverse group. This is wonderful. FCC provider in Springfield, FCC in Chicopee, Brockton, teacher in family child care, wonderful. In Worcester, director in Franklin. Fantastic. We've got great representation from all over the state and lots of different roles that you all are serving. So I'm so happy that you're able to join us here this evening. Let's see, Region 3 consultant. Educator support specialist, wonderful. And if you're just signing on and happen to miss it, let me mention that you if you're wanting Spanish translation, there should be a globe down at the bottom, and you can select English or Spanish.
That's all I got.
And oops, and let's just make sure that your mics are muted here. Give me 1 second. I'm doing multiple roles tonight, so let's see. Make sure. Great. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We're so happy to be meeting with you to talk a little bit further about a new initiative that EEC has launched called the Professional Pathways Program. Next slide, Bea. Okay. Let's see. Give me just 1 second. All right, so I wanted to provide a little bit of an introduction about how this project, this new initiative, fits within EEC's strategic work. So we're here tonight to share with you this new initiative because we recognize that both within the state as well as nationally, it's been incredibly challenging finding and supporting educators in entering this field. We recognize that for the stability of the field post-pandemic, that we need to not only grow the existing early care and education workforce, but we also need to further support those of you that are working in the field with accessing higher education in order to advance your careers and your positions within your programs. We have worked to identify what the pain points are in the field, and I've heard how many of you have stepped up working longer days, double shifts, et cetera, in order to meet the need. We know that many individuals who are working in this field often have trouble accessing coursework. You maybe have to place multiple phone calls, or if someone is looking to start in this field, they don't necessarily know where to go or kind of where to begin to try to find the resources that they're looking for. And also additionally, we know that higher education institutions oftentimes have seats that go unfilled and capacity that's unmet. So as we work not only to further support our existing workforce, but also expand the number of educators, we are implementing multiple strategies to further build and support the existing workforce. Next slide. So many of you have probably already seen EEC's strategic plan educator goal. However, as a reminder, I would like to ground us in our work today with that Our focus is really on ensuring that the early childhood and out of school time workforce is professionally prepared, well supported, and culturally and linguistically representative of the population it serves. The initiative that we'll be sharing more about today is grounded in these tenets. EEC, in partnership with neighborhood villages, will work to support access to professional preparation programs that meet educators' and employers' needs. Next slide. So EEC's strategic plan educator initiatives are focused on providing support to educators in retaining these professionals in our field and in building a new educator credentialing framework and associated pathways. This work has centered around investments in professional development and technical assistance, such as through our PDCs, our ECSOs, as well as the re-envisioned registry. Next slide. Today, as we focus on access to higher education and preparation programs, as well as the workforce pipeline and educator recruitment, those are the top. And then if you go to the right, the next box going around the circle, we will focus on investments that EEC is making into Massachusetts community colleges in order to support the availability of a variety of courses that meet the linguistic, educational, and delivery formats of this field. These courses are available in multiple languages, online, face-to-face, and blends of the two, with a menu of academic and non-academic supports, such as tutoring, financial assistance for books and laptops, and costs for CDA application fees. Despite these investments, EEC identifies that there has still been an unmet need and matching potential and existing educators with these programs. There are many educators who have struggled to understand the steps to take in connecting to these resources that are available and in working through the enrollment and application process. In response, EEC is working to build bridges at the systems level. After a pilot in the Boston area, EEC is newly funding neighborhood villages to expand its navigation and support model statewide. Through online and phone advising, neighborhood villages will support navigation and access of higher education opportunities across the state of Massachusetts. In this way, individuals, programs, and entities such as career and technical education ECE programs, workforce development boards, and others can seamlessly connect with institutions offering higher education courses that meet their needs. To learn more about this exciting new initiative, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague and partner at Neighborhood Villages, Beenal Patel. Beenal, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Beenal Patel. I'm the Chief Program Officer at Neighborhood Villages. Before working at Neighborhood Villages, as Allison mentioned, I was also a director in the field and an educator for many years before that. Supporting educators and program administrators is really a passion of mine and what drives my work and our work at Neighborhood Villages. Our goal is to support early childhood programs in the Commonwealth, both short-term during the pandemic and workforce crisis, but also long-term as we work towards building a successful childcare system that supports all educators, families, and children. Some of the programs at Neighborhood Villages that many of you may already be familiar with are COVID-19 pool testing for EEC license program, business training for FCC and center-based administrators, advocacy and podcasts, piloting an early childhood education school district in Boston called The Neighborhood, and the pilot program that Allison mentioned in Boston with the Career Pathways Grant. We're very excited to partner with EEC for our new initiative, Professional Pathways. As mentioned, Professional Pathways is a program that builds on a pilot that Neighborhood Villages has conducted in Boston, connecting educators to the coursework they needed to get licensed and advance their careers. Over the past 2 years of this pilot, and in my role as a director as well, we've learned how many students and providers don't always know about the resources and opportunities that are provided by the state and by community colleges around the state, including the Career Pathways Grant, the EEC Scholarship, and in general, the many pathways that exist towards obtaining a certificate, a credential, a CDA, and associates and higher ed degrees. With this partnership with EEC, we're excited to have launched the Professional Pathways Program, where we are now able to support educators and students statewide in accessing the information and resources they need to connect to courses with higher ed partners. The Professional Pathways program is a resource and a central hub at the intersection of students and educators, EEC programs, and higher ed partners and coursework providers. We're a few weeks into the launch of the program and have already begun connecting educators, many like yourself, to community colleges that best meet their needs and they will begin taking courses with them as early as January. For students and educators who are either looking to start a career in the field or already working and looking to advance their career, you can visit the website, which I will show in a few minutes at the end of the slides. And on the student page, there is a link that says Get Started, and there's an inquiry form. The inquiry form will connect you directly to a student support associate at Neighborhood Villages. We call them SSA for short, who will be in touch with you to learn more about your educational goals, any previous courses taken, professional goals, current employment status, and a preferred method of learning, whether it's online, in person, or taking a course in a particular language. Based on the needs of the student, our SSAs then offer options of pathways to choose from and ask you, the student, where you would like to start. Once a preference for a college is shared, the SSA connects you directly to the person at the college who can support you in learning about the pathway, the wraparound supports that the college offers, financial supports that the college may offer, and answer questions and advise you in moving forward. We make sure that each student is connected to the right person to begin their path and check in afterwards to see if you were able to successfully enroll in the course. Were there barriers in doing so? Did you want to try connecting with another college, etc.? Essentially, we want to make sure every single student is an educator is able to start on a pathway and get connected to the course they need. I do want to clarify also that students are welcome to connect with community colleges and universities on their own. It's not required to go through professional pathways or neighborhood villages to start courses. If you already have a connection, you've already been taking courses at a college or are comfortable navigating the process, you're welcome to do that independently. Professional Pathways is intended as a resource to help connect students to higher ed courses. Some frequently asked questions that we have gotten in other engagement sessions and just want to make sure that we can address here. There are resources available in multiple languages. The website is already translated in Spanish, Portuguese, and also Arabic as well, actually. And we have student support associates who are multilingual in these languages also, in Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic. The community colleges do also offer courses in multiple languages. Will there be any intersections between Professional Pathways and the Strong Start PDC centers? The PDC centers provide trainings for the field, and any educator or student that reaches out to Professional Pathways seeking the training would then be connected or referred to their catchment area PDC. How does Professional Pathways overlap with the Career Pathways grants and the community colleges? So Neighborhood Villages is essentially providing a call center and a resource to support connections with the community colleges. They continue to offer their programs, which includes courses through the Career Pathways grant and courses towards certificate programs and degrees. Our role is to serve as a resource to connect students to the right person at the college or higher ed institution that they want to be connected with. What is the cost of classes and how are they funded? There are already several courses and pathways which are funded by the Career Pathways grant that are free for students. Each college will also work with the student individually to assess financial needs if they want to continue in a pathway beyond what the grant can offer. And there are options that are available such as financial aid, Pell Grants, and EEC scholarship. Is Professional Pathways providing courses that are CEU or college credits? All the referrals made by Neighborhood Villages to the colleges are for courses that are offered for college credit. Right. On the website, there is another page. So there's a page for students and educators. There's another page for EEC programs and providers. So if you are a larger program or have worked with a group of programs in the area to already establish a cohort of educators who need a course, you can also reach out to Neighborhood Villages and the Professional Pathways program through the same website and be connected with one of our staff or SSAs to learn about a course that could be started for your cohort. Neighborhood villages will then work collaboratively with a college to identify one that's best suited to meet the needs of the cohort and work with the program or several programs to ensure that students are connected to the right person to begin the process. So essentially for any large programs that maybe already have 15 or 20 educators, and you don't want to send each individual educator through professional pathways so that they each find a course, but have all 15 or 20 in a cohort take a course together. This page would be for those programs. We've already begun receiving interest from large programs for full cohorts and have started to connect them to colleges who are able to offer brand new classes for that cohort in the spring. And finally, there's a third page on the website specifically intended for higher education and workforce support providers. We're looking forward to connecting with and building partnerships with this sector, including high school career and technical education programs, workforce development boards, and others who support workforce development and are looking to connect with a resource focused on those looking to start a career in early education and care. We will connect with this group around organizing a course for your audience, learning about the demands and the needs of the field, and beginning individuals on a pathway to meet their learning needs. If you're one of these providers, you can also fill out an inquiry form on the website and would be connected with a professional pathway staff member. This is our amazing team of SSAs, our student support associates. All 4 of them have already begun having conversations with students, with programs, and connecting them with colleges. Khadija speaks Arabic as well. Ashley and Eric speak English, and Juliana speaks Portuguese. So if there are any students and providers that need support in those languages, they're also willing and able to help. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute so I can share the website.
And while we take a moment to transition to the website, I just wanted to also make sure, so if some people that are coming to this discussion, they've already got an established relationship with one of the community colleges. So I always just like to reiterate that if you do in fact already have a relationship with one of the community colleges, you can continue to go to them directly still, but we certainly hope that you will share information about this program with your colleagues and others that you know who are working in the field, because like we've mentioned, this is really intended to be almost like the air traffic control that can help you not have to navigate across multiple institutions and can really save and streamline on time, but it's not a requirement that you go through professional pathways. Also, let me take a moment to, some of you have been including your questions in the chat. We'll have some time for questions and answers at the end as well. So if you want to continue to put some questions as they're coming to you in the chat, feel free to do that as well.
Great. So I can quickly show the website and we'll put it in the chat as well. It's eecprofessionalpathways.com. And when you go to that website, you'll see right on the top here, there's a translation available in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic. And so you can just drop down and pick the language of your choice. We are working on translating to more languages as well, but these are the ones that we have available right now. And so on the page, you can see the 3 different groups that I had talked about: the students and educators, the EEC programs and providers, and the higher education workforce support providers. Those 3 links are on the home page as well as the top of the site, so you can get to it from 2 different places. So if you're a student or educator and you're looking for courses towards teacher credentialing, lead teacher, director, maybe getting a certificate, an associate's degree, you can click on this link on the website. And if you go to the inquiry form, the Get Started, it asks for some information, for contact information, demographic information, and just your preference for how you'd like to be reached out or connected with an SSA. And our SSAs will then take this information and either reach out to you through email, through phone. Some have said that they preferred text. I think a lot of family childcare providers find text easier to communicate. And they'll basically have a conversation with you about what you're looking for. Are you looking for one course? Are you looking to really be on a pathway towards a degree? What method do you like? Do you like online? Do you like in person? Where do you live? really gather information to best connect you with a college that can meet your needs. For larger programs that are looking for cohorts, there's a page for programs and providers. And same thing, if you click on the inquiry link and fill that out, an SSA will be in touch. And just in case you just have questions in general, you're not sure where to start, just want to connect with anybody, under the About Us page, there's a Contact Us, and you can always just fill in your name, email, and a question, and we're happy to get back to you and connect and just help you to get started. Right. Should we do the poll and the questions, Allison?
Yeah, so now we would like to hear from you. I'm going to share my screen here for a minute. We've got some questions. So let's see. Let me get the instructions for you all. Bear with me one second here. Too many tabs up. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. So you can either use a browser or you can use your cell phone if you'd like to respond. Let me put the link here. Okay. So there is that. And then if you'd like to respond with a cell phone, you can send a text to 22333. Let me also put this in the chat for you all. And we would like to get your feedback. Okay, so we'll give you a minute to get connected. Let me see. Oh, let me try again with the link here. Okay. There we go. That should work. Right, I'll give you a minute to get connected. And while we're doing that, then I will go ahead and I'll pull up the poll. Okay, so the first question, we'd like to just get a sense of the ways in which that you've benefited or participated in some of the programs that pay for higher education coursework to date. So if you could respond, have you participated or benefited in Career Pathways or the Early Childhood Scholarship Program? Let me format this so it looks better. I've heard a few or seen a few yeses, nos. No. Essentially what we're hoping to do through this initiative is, and I saw this in the chat, is that once we get you connected, so the SSAs will talk to you about kind of a variety of different options to try to get a sense of what your needs are. They can give you a little bit of an overview, but what we're going to do is when we make a referral to the community college, they will talk with you guys specifically about what the variety of different funding options are. They sometimes have a variety of different financial aid or other federal grants that they could use in addition to the ways in which EEC supports you all to attend courses as well. So you guys have referred coaching clients, you taught Career Pathways courses. Yes, many staff have used the ECE scholarship. I'll put in a little plug, my work at EEC. So not only do I oversee the Professional Pathways Project, but also Career Pathways and Scholarships. And the ECE scholarship program is always generally underutilized. We have some funding available still for scholars to be able to participate in the program. So if you're interested or would like to know more, you can definitely contact the Professional Pathways team or your local college. Okay. Great. Okay. Somebody else said, yes, I went to Fisher College and was able to use the scholarship to get their associates. Wonderful. All right. Let's go on to the next question. Let me transition here. Okay. So we would like to know, what do you see as being the most value in the Professional Pathways service? I'll share screen again. The one-stop shopping. I know it takes some time to type. A way to connect with someone to help you get where you need to, what you need to do and where to begin. One-stop shopping. Yep. Yeah, we understand that when you're trying to find courses, for example, child growth and development, and you're working with children all day, it's not very easy. You don't have time to be able to make calls and leave messages and take calls back. Your break, unfortunately, goes way too quickly when you're trying to coordinate this. So quality courses being made available, connection to colleges in your area, and connection to online courses, especially because of the pandemic. There's so many courses that are available online. Yeah, courses that you're interested in. I know that a lot of the colleges are coming out with new courses on things like early childhood trauma, STEM, for example. So things that are really interesting elective courses. And so the team can help you find those. Yeah. Help a lot of people who need guidance and the funds to pursue, yep, these courses. Definitely supporting access. Yeah, definitely. These are all great things. Flexibility, evenings, weekends, online. Yep. Being able to take classes with like-minded people. Absolutely. Yeah, we always describe when we're working on this project that it's very much like a puzzle, because we're trying to find what are the courses that fit with your schedule. If it's, Wednesday night and you want to take a flexible course that meets sometimes online and sometimes face-to-face, we look through all the different options to try to find that match. Yeah, definitely. All right, well, I'm going to keep the poll open. You guys can keep putting in your responses, but let's go ahead and go to the next question. Somebody else said the guidance and support. Yeah. Okay. So the next question is, in your opinion, what courses or pathways would you or other educators be most interested in? Share again. So is there something that you've been looking for, that a colleague has been looking for? Courses on communication skills. We are taking your feedback and passing this along to the colleges, so don't be shy here. Definitely put put what you would be interested in or looking for. Bachelor's degrees. So for people who already have a bachelor's in a different field, and are making career changes, director and leadership courses, master's degree courses. Yep. Building relationships with colleagues. Practicum, nutrition, anything that you need to get over the finish line and complete a degree. Yep. The basics for lead teacher. So child development curriculum, special needs behavior management. Yep. Master's and graduate level courses in family balance, which is so hard, especially now. Leadership coaching, courses towards master's degree, leadership. Yep, bachelor's, master's. Great. I'm so excited to hear that you guys are really interested in continuing on in terms of the pathway. That's one of the reasons we were very thoughtful in naming this new initiative, is because we definitely see your start and your continuation in college courses as very much being a pathway to get to whatever degree or level that you aspire to. So currently finishing your degree at the end of the month. Woohoo, congratulations. That's so exciting. Looking for a class in exceptional children with autism, etc. Yep. Managing change in an organization. Yes, there's certainly been so much change over the last couple of years with all of our policies and the children enrollment changes and staffing, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Looks when I got a double major, that's fantastic. Others? Definitely keep it coming. Like I said, we love this feedback and we'll definitely pass this along. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, which is, let's see. Okay, so what questions do you guys still have about professional pathways? We'd really like to hear from you. We can take some time and answer the questions that you guys have now, as well as what you guys share will also help us to inform. We're putting together a growing FAQ sheet as well. So definitely put those questions in. Do you have a landline to contact or only emails? We're using email, text, phone, whatever way works best for you guys. Pricing and funding towards a master's degree. Make sure those who apply for courses take them. Yeah, so helping to support not just enrollment, but also course completion. I can say that's one of the things that is really great about the community colleges that we're investing in is not only is it the coursework, but it's also the supports to help educators be able to progress and to complete courses and degrees. Is there a definitive time to finish courses? So what is the kind of the schedule like? And if something were to come up, what are the policies around incompletes or withdrawals and that sort of thing? Okay. And the SSAs can help you guys find courses that are, there are some that are 7 weeks, there are some that are 8, 10, 12, 15. So just depending on how condensed you feel like you want those courses. Do you have summer courses or only fall? There are courses fall, spring, we have summer 1, summer 2, we have semesters that overlap that kind of are called mini-mesters. So it just depends on what the institution is offering and the team can help you to find that. Yep. Someone to help you with what you've already done and figure out what you need. Yeah, so some academic advising around what counts, what you could potentially transfer into an existing degree or certificate. Absolutely. Okay, that's great. And these are all things that the Professional Pathways and Community Colleges team can help you all to find out more about and get connected to. Yep. How many credits are needed for a master's? Yeah. So they can definitely help you find out kind of what are the next steps for you? What are your options available as you're shopping around? And one of the great things too about this team is that they do a warm handoff. So it's not just that they're going to email you another phone number to call or, send you an email address, is that they're really going to help you guys to make that personal connection with somebody who can support you from there at the individual college. Okay, keep your questions coming in. Are there any other questions that you wanted to respond to that you saw coming in? Let me see. Apprenticeships, yeah. Let me stop sharing here. Make sure I haven't missed anything in the chat.
No, there's some really great feedback and questions in there. We don't have a landline, but all of the SSAs do have cell phones. So once the inquiry form is in, you can communicate through phone with them. It doesn't have to be through email at all.
Okay. And I also see the question in the chat about a desire for career changers to continue to pursue their bachelor's. So we'll definitely take that back and have some continued conversations about that as well in terms of how to support our field. Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much. This concludes our planned agenda for today. So we appreciate you all so much for your time, for your questions, for your engagement. I will share that this session has been recorded for friends or colleagues that were not able to make it. We will share a link in the different newsletters that come out from the agency, and you can also stay tuned to the EEC engagement portal. Let me go ahead and I'll put the link up in the chat as well so that you've got that. And you can stay tuned for not only the recording of this session, but also future sessions that we have going on around a variety of different topics happening at the agency. So there is that for you all. So otherwise, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for taking additional time on top of your busy days on behalf of children. And thank you again for all the amazing work that you guys are doing to support our children and our families on behalf of the Commonwealth. And we're really hopeful and excited to support you in this way with college coursework and your professional higher education path. So take care.
Thank you.